Did you know that English used to be very different? Over 1,000 years ago, people in England spoke Old English. It sounded more like German than the English we speak today. Then in the 8th century, the Vikings arrived from Scandinavia. The Vikings were fierce warriors, but they also traded with the Anglo-Saxons. As they interacted, their languages blended. Viking words like skull, knife, and sky became part of Old English. This mixing of languages changed the way English sounded. Old English grammar was also simplified because of the Viking influence. Can you imagine saying bread instead of hlaf for a loaf of bread? Thank the Vikings for that. These changes didn't happen overnight. It took centuries for Old English to transform into what we now call Middle English, but the Viking invasions were a key turning point in the history of the English language. In 1066, a very important event happened in English history, the Norman Conquest. William the Conqueror, a duke from Normandy in France, invaded England and became king. The Normans spoke a form of French, which became the language of the court, law, and high society. English was still spoken by ordinary people, but it was considered a lower-class language. For about 300 years, English was influenced heavily by French. Many French words entered the language, especially those related to government, law, and culture. Words like justice, parliament, and art all come from French. This French influence gave Middle English a wider vocabulary and a more complex grammar. It also led to the development of different dialects of English, as the language continued to evolve in different parts of the country. By the late 14th century, English had become the dominant language in England again. This period saw the emergence of early modern English, the language of Shakespeare. The Renaissance, a period of great artistic and intellectual change in Europe, had a big impact on English. Many new words were borrowed from Latin and Greek, expanding the language's vocabulary even further. Printing also played a crucial role in this period. William Caxton's introduction of the printing press to England in 1476 led to a wider distribution of books and a greater standardization of the language. Early modern English may sound a bit strange to our ears today, but it's much closer to modern English than Old or Middle English. Shakespeare's plays, for example, are still enjoyed by audiences worldwide, even though they were written over 400 years ago. During the 16th and 17th centuries, England became a major seafaring nation, establishing colonies in North America, the Caribbean, and other parts of the world. Wherever English people went, they took their language with them. English was spoken in these colonies by settlers, traders, and administrators. It also came into contact with indigenous languages, leading to the adoption of new words and phrases. The transatlantic slave trade also had a significant impact on the development of English. Millions of Africans were forcibly transported to the Americas, where they were exposed to English and other European languages. This led to the development of new dialects, such as African American Vernacular English, which has its own unique history and features. Section 5. English across the globe. By the 19th century, the British Empire had become the largest empire in history, spanning vast territories across the globe. English was the language of administration, trade, and education in many of these colonies, leading to its spread as a global language. Even after the decline of the British Empire in the 20th century, English continued to be an important language. This was due in part to the rise of the United States as a global superpower and the influence of American culture and media worldwide. Today, English is spoken by billions of people worldwide, either as a first or second language. It's the dominant language of international business, science, technology, and diplomacy. Section 6, American English, a new dialect. As English spread across the Atlantic Ocean, it began to change in new and exciting ways. American English, with its unique accent and vocabulary, was born. Remember those British colonies in North America? Well, they eventually became the United States, a country with its own identity and way of speaking. American English adopted words from Native American languages, like canoe and raccoon. It also developed its own slang and expressions, making it distinct from British English. Today, American English is one of the most influential dialects of English worldwide, thanks in part to Hollywood movies and American pop music. Section 7. Technology's impact on English. Over the past century, technology has had a profound impact on the English language. The invention of the telephone, radio, television, and the internet has led to new ways of communicating and using English. Social media, texting, and online gaming have also introduced new words, abbreviations, and ways of using language. English has become more informal and constantly evolving in the digital age. The rise of machine translation and artificial intelligence is also changing how we interact with language. English is at the forefront of these technological advancements, playing a key role in shaping the future of communication. Section 8. The future of English global communication. So, what does the future hold for the English language? As the world becomes increasingly interconnected, English is likely to continue to be a vital language for global communication. However, the nature of English itself may continue to evolve. New dialects may emerge, and technology will undoubtedly continue to shape how we use and interact with the language. One thing is certain, the journey of the English language is far from over. From its humble beginnings on a small island to its current status as a global language, English has a rich and fascinating history. And as long as people continue to communicate, learn, and share ideas, the story of English will continue to unfold in exciting and unpredictable ways.